Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Unscripted Pause. I have changed the name of my YouTube channel to the Unscripted Pause. Um, One, it just makes more sense for what I'm doing. I also just don't want to confuse it with Dialogue with Diane, which is my philanthropic coaching and consulting. So I don't want to confuse the two, and I'm not talking about philanthropy on here at all. And so I like this name of the unscripted pause because I am definitely being unscripted. And I was thinking about like, oh, I wonder what I'll talk about today, and I just this idea of like finding your place and finding your voice is like coming up for me. And I've talked a little bit on some of the other videos around how I like growing up, I wanted to be a teacher, and then I didn't really pursue that, and I didn't really realize I could do like, oh, you can teach adults, um, which clearly is my sweet spot. Um, and so I love this idea of if we're able to take a pause and think about like who we are. And as I get older, I'm understanding more about who I am, what I want, what I don't want. And I'm being very intentional around doing what brings me joy and what serves me. Now, doing these videos, like, yeah, it's kind of a little bit like a personal vlog, and I may pivot a little bit, but we're talking about a lot of what I'll be talking about is pivoting, and when I've had to pivot in life, or when I've had to recreate or reimagine or reinvent myself, and so today it's just like, oh yeah. I mean, actually, in this moment, because this is not what I have. This is not what I have planned, but it's this idea of showing up as who I am. And there's been a couple times this week in conversations I've had where it's been clear, like it's best if I just show up being Diane, showing up as who I am. And I said to Tommy, my husband, I said to Tommy this afternoon, I was like, you know what? There's a place for me, right? There's a place for me and how I am, how Diane shows up, right? Like don't sacrifice who you are, right? Like I've been a people pleaser most of my life. Um and I'm trying very hard not to do that anymore. But it's a struggle. I will just say it is a struggle. And if you're a people pleaser, it's really hard. And I had to have a hard conversation with someone earlier today. And before I went on the call, I was like, and don't say you're sorry. Like, don't apologize for being who I was like, because I know me. I know me. It was going to be a difficult conversation. And I know I would have said, I'm really sorry. And I know, like, and I'm like, no, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry because the difficult conversation was around me needing to be who I am, and me needing to be genuine about the space I'm in right now. I'm in a space I've never been in before. I am thinking about my life in a very different way. As you know, as I've said, I'll be 60 this year, and God knows I wish I wasn't thinking about trying to like figure out who I am and reinventing myself. But here I am, right? But here I am. And so I'm just this idea of like, but I'm only ever going to be me. I'm only ever going to be me. And I cannot sacrifice who I am to make you comfortable, right? I can't become somebody that I'm not. I can't try to show up in a way that's not authentic for me. And if that doesn't work for you, then okay, that's okay because it'll work for somebody else. And so just show up as who you are. Be you. And, as a woman of color, as a Black woman, there's, the whole term around code switching, which I have done, I think most people of color have done. And this idea of like showing up like in a way that's not me, especially in the work environment, showing up in a way that's not me. And over the past several years, I've gotten much better at showing up, saying what's real, saying what's true for me, and being okay with that. Like that takes time of being able to show up and be okay with who you are, being okay with how you show up, not making apologies for it, which is hard as a people pleaser because you want to say, like, I want to say I'm sorry about everything. It don't even have, sometimes things don't have squat to do with me, but I'll be like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. And I don't, yeah, no, I know. No, if I really need to be sorry, I'll be sorry. Yeah. Like I can own my stuff and I apologize when I need to, but not going to apologize for being who I am. I'm not going to apologize because I choose to be very warm and I choose to be very open in how I interact with people. And sometimes people take that as being unprofessional or you're too casual. And I'm like, nope, this is me. If it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. And you know what? That's okay. And I just want to see us all get to a place where we can just say, that's okay. Everybody doesn't have to like me, but I will always be me. I will always show up as who I am. And as we continue, and I'm saying as we continue on this journey together with these videos, like I feel like I want you to ask questions. I want you to put in the comments things that maybe you want to hear from me or things you want me to talk about or a question you just want to ask. And so to that end, I'm going to read this quote that I love. And I'm going to read it because I think it really kind of encapsulates what I hope this space will be. And when I say space and I get it's me talking, but I really want to be mindful of who might be listening and who might be watching. And so I'm going to end with this quote by Parker Palmer, whom I love, because I feel like he gets me. And so here's the quote. Circles of trust combine unconditional love or regard with hopeful expectancy, creating a space that both safeguards and encourages the inner journey. In such a space, we are freed to hear our own truth, touch what brings us joy, become self-critical about our faults, and take risky steps toward change, knowing that we will be accepted no matter what the outcome. End quote. And that's by Parker Palmer. That's what I want here. I want this to be a circle of trust. Show up any way you want to show up here. I'm showing up in the way that I need to show up here. And I hope, warm, authentic, truthful, bold, crazy, quirky, random, goofball self. And I hope you will accept me and I will accept you with all your quirks because this will be a circle of trust. Okay, until next time, thank you. Thank you for those that have subscribed and are watching. Thank you.